What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Backcourt Bros. I'm your host, Will Neufeld, here with my good friend, Ryan Rivas. As always, say hi to the folks, Ryan.
What's up, guys?
Alrighty, so, Ryan, today's video, we are talking about the best sidekicks in NBA history. So, Ryan, when you think about sidekicks in the NBA, who are some of the first names that just popped to your head?
There's a lot of good ones out there. Like Curry to Kevin Durant, I would consider that a sidekick in their Golden State Dynasty era. Kevin McHale to Larry Bird was a good one.
Yes, sir.
Wade to LeBron.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of them.
Yeah.
Even Pippen to Jordan, probably one of the best ones out there.
Yeah, I was going to say, why wasn't that at the top of your list?
I consider it more of a duo than a sidekick. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, honestly.
Ooh, no, I definitely see that. What are your thoughts about the criteria for a sidekick? You said Pippen and Jordan were more of a duo and Curry was more of a sidekick to Kevin Durant. How do you kind of see that? How does that, work?
I honestly don't have a clue, but from what I feel like it could be is Curry, whenever Kevin Durant had an off night, which was rare, he could always step up and light it up too. And then for Pippen and Jordan, they just complemented each other's games,
Yeah, I definitely see that for sure. Yeah, so throughout, the NBA's history, we always see, really great teams, and these great teams always have this Batman-Robin combo. So you see Magic Johnson, Kareem, Jordan, Pippen, as you've said, Kevin McHale, and Larry Bird. But all these guys, they come together and, surrounded by the right pieces, your franchise player and the right-hand man, it kind of sets the tone for, what your franchise is standing for, what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And, I feel like a lot of people really undervalue, that right-hand man because they have to be not only good at basketball, but they have to be humble. They have to be, willing to be, hey, when people think of me, they're always going to think of my better teammate, but hey, I'm okay with that because I want to win championships. You look at guys like Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker who are willing to do that with Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
You look at, even Pippen, especially Pippen. He's been pretty vocal about it, not very happy, obviously, about how things went down in Chicago in the 90s. But, still, It definitely says more about these players than I think people really give them credit for.
Yeah. And like you were saying, the players need to complement each other. It's kind of like a Jokic and Murray type thing. A guard and a post player, They need that pick-and-roll duo. And then they just bring in Aaron Gordon to complement Jokic's game even more because they figured out, okay, this is our superstar who we're going to build around,
Oh, yeah, for sure. With, different positions complement each other differently. Even in today's league, you look at the 76ers, the big three that they've constructed, you definitely see, they got the center, Joel Embiid, they got the wing, Paul George, and then they got their point guard in Tyrese Maxey. And so you're very much this is really, really cool. They have these players and they just complement each other in terms of positions. Maxey can be the ball handler, Paul George can move off the ball, and it can all just be facilitated by Joel Embiid's dominance.
Oh, yeah. I completely agree with that,
So, Ryan, in your opinion, if you had to make a top three of, when you think sidekicks, right-hand men, players that, had better teammates but were willing to be humble, what are the top three based off of how underrated they are? So not necessarily, in talent, but, how underrated?
The McHale to Larry Bird definitely is underrated because nobody ever talks about them. Whenever we think of 80s ball, we think of Magic and Kareem, and we only think of Larry Bird for the Celtics. We don't think of McHale or Parrish,
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's definitely one of the more underrated ones, but we always have LeBron and Wade being seen as a duo, with their way to complement each other's games. Same with Curry and KD and all the others,
Yeah, especially as the years have gone on, you definitely see instead of these players having to complement each other, they're just get the two best players in the league on the same team. So as they did with Curry and Kevin Durant, the fit wasn't the best, and that's why they weren't really a duo, but they were just both so OP that, it just kind of worked out for them.
Exactly.
But then you look at Curry and Klay Thompson, that's a duo. They work beautifully together. You look at Curry and even Draymond, Klay Thompson and Draymond, They're definitely not like a 1-2 punch kind of a duo, Thompson and Draymond, but they got that chemistry and that, I don't know, duology, duo.
I mean,
chemistry.
You can say that. But I want to point out the fact that you said like Clay and Draymond aren't like a 1-2 punch. Get it?
Oh my. Nah, that's just a one punch.
Facts. Yeah, it wasn't Klay Thompson.
Oh, wow. Dude, I did not actually notice that I had said that. I should not have used the term punch for Draymond. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so Ryan, looking at younger players in the league, who do you see as like two young players who are on the same team who have chemistry together, you know, potential to have a franchise player and a sidekick to that player?
I think of the Rockets for sure with Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green and all their other pieces they have.
Oh, yeah, for
It's
sure.
kind of like they're reconstructing a mini Denver Nuggets team, you know?
Oh, yeah, Alperen
It is-
Sengun to Jokic,
Yeah.
John Morant, and I don't want to say it quite yet, but Zach Edey. I mean, is it Eddie or is it Edey?
I think it's Edie. It could be like, maybe it could even be Edie and Triple J, you know?
Oh, that too. Oh, I forgot about Triple J.
Yeah.
My boy Jaren Jackson. I'm so sorry. I should not have forgotten about you. You just won Defensive Player of the Year like a year ago. I should not be forgetting you already. But yeah, definitely. That, you know, Memphis has some size. They got, you know, chemistry. Like, they were really good. 2022
Facts.
playoffs when they played the Warriors. That series was very interesting.
That was. And then the 2023 when they faced against LeBron James. They got cooked there. But we don't talk about that series because Dylan Brooks left right afterwards. But they replaced it with Marcus Smart, which I think was a good deal, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Marcus Smart brings that championship kind of grind to a team. He's been with Boston for a while, and they were always contending. They traded him away, immediately won a championship. That must kind of stink for Marcus, but they're now bringing Marcus in for the Memphis Grizzlies. That's definitely saying, like, hey, you know, we're getting defense, we're getting leadership in the locker room and on the court, you know, kind of a Draymond Green kind of player for this team.
Yeah.
To see Draymond Green and Marcus Smart play each other in the playoffs, another Golden State Memphis rematch would be fun. I really want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Golden State, like they did a couple moves. I wouldn't call them the best moves, but they weren't able to bring in Lauri Markkanen though, so that's definitely that's gonna hurt them.
Yeah, did Markkanen sign a contract with the Jazz? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think he signed an extension, like worth $286, I think.
Oof, wow. Yeah, the Warriors had, you know, Jonathan Kuminga, Jordan Poole. I think that they made the right decision in going with Curry, Clay, and Draymond over those guys. Like, you know, try to win now. I think that's the approach I still would have taken. But, man, they got really unlucky with Paul George leaving, not getting Lauri Markkanen. So, yeah, this Warriors team, they lost Chris Paul. You know, it kind of seems like they're back at ground zero again, but just without Klay Thompson.
Wait, didn't they bring in like Buddy Hield? He's also a really good 3-point shooter, so he's basically replacing Klay just without the chemistry.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of sad how similar in terms of like production Klay Thompson and Buddy Hield are. Yet Klay Thompson is getting just massive amounts of money, and not just getting them, like demanding them. And you're like, really? Like.
And he's got 4 rings.
Yeah, I mean, that 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, I understand that you have championship experience and that you're one of the best shooters in the league, so that definitely adds value to you as a player. But I don't understand. The amount of money is still just absurd for like production wise.
Yeah.
Especially that, you know, I like the fit with the Mavs, but you know. It's just one of those things that gets at me. Speaking of the Mavericks, though, you know, talking about young sidekicks, what about Derek Lively?
He's definitely going to be a threat, I feel like. Like, how tall is he? Like 7 feet? 7 feet 1, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's pretty tall. And he's got muscle on him, too. So, especially what we saw in the playoffs this year, he was outstanding.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That chemistry with Luka Doncic, though, too, is just insane. Like, you could not have asked for a better pick and roll threat for Luka than Derek Lively. Like, realistically speaking, of course, everyone would be like, oh, but you could get Giannis. Like, be realistic. You know,
they
Derek
also have
Lively.
Gafford. They also have Gafford, so everyone was calling it like Lob City 2.0, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Kyrie being able to be a good playmaker too. Yeah. Don't they also have, who do they have? They got Quentin Grimes in the offseason with the trade
That's fair.
from Tim Hardaway, Josh Green. So
they still have Jaden Hardy too, so.
Oh yeah, they got Jaden Hardy too. Yeah, this Mavericks team, assuming that all their young guys still develop, they could use those as some trading pieces to really like elevate them to the next level because they got that chemistry, we know for sure.
Oh yeah. All right, thank you guys. That's the end of the show today.
Peace.